Hey guys, I know it's been a while, but we're back, aging on the go. And today I'm bringing you a actual conversation with some seniors that I have selected for our radio show called Seniors Uncensored. So the topic today is telling kids to butt out of their lives. They want a sense of privacy. So I have Miss Grace, as I promised you before, that she'll be actually the host today. So we're grateful to have her here, and we have Miss Connie Jones, and we're going to have a wonderful time. So, Miss Grace, you could take it from here.
Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Grace Whitmire. Today, our program is geared to our adult children. We want to tell them very lovingly to B-U-T-T, butt out. Butt out of our business. Our guest today is Miss Connie Jones. Miss Jones resides at the Overlook Apartments at Oxon Hill Run in Washington, D.C. Miss Jones, may I call you Connie?
Yes, you may.
Thank you for joining us today.
Y'all you full of it, Miss Grace. Now y'all know each other. But anyway, go ahead.
You better hush.
I know.
Miss Jones, how many children do you have?
I have two kids. I have a son named Keith Sally. I have a daughter named Karita Jones.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, Miss Connie. Now we know that we love our children and our children love us. And they do say what they think is good for us, but they go a little too far with their advice. What is some of the unwanted advice do your children give you?
Well, I have the kind of kids that always think they know everything that I should do, what I shouldn't do. And if it's not done in their way, then they have a problem with it. But the problem that I give them back was, since you want it done that way, you do it.
I like that, Miss Jones.
I do
I'm going,
too.
man, hold up. I like that, Miss Connie. I can't do what Miss Grace did. But that's important because you know what? As we grow, as you guys are growing older, we're maturing as well. And sometimes we start thinking of you guys as our kids.
That's
you know,
true.
And we have
That's
to
true.
run after you. So the mere fact that you're very vocal and say, "Hey, do it yourself." That's a great thing. But
Yes.
but how about you, Miss Grace? What's
Uh,
going on with your kids?
Well,
How many do you have?
I have three kids. I have Jeremy, 52, Jesse, 50, and I have Gregory, who's 49 years old. Now, Gregory is the quiet one. He says very little. He doesn't interfere. But that Jerry and Jesse, oh my God. They're always trying to tell me what to do. Mama, don't go outside. Mama, get your oil changed. Mama, mama, mama. And then when I don't do what they say, they gang up on me. They don't come to my face, but they talk about me. And as long as I'm doing what they say do, which is very rarely, I'm their mother. But let me cross them. Jerry called Teresa. You know what your mother did? And then Teresa called Jerry. Let me tell you what your mother did. So, but I keep them in check. Believe you me, I keep them in check.
Well, I know in my household, I have a mother and a grandmother left, and that's remaining. Other people are deceased. So my brother and I had those same kind of conversations. My mom would say something really crazy, and I'll call my brother and say, "Hey, did you hear what your mother said?" He'd be like, "No." Well, I said, I'll tell him, "Watch out. She's going to call you in 10 minutes because she just hung up." And then he's more of the fatherly type, and he's going to be very, I guess, be authoritarian over the issue. Me, myself, I just, I play the dozens. I said, "Well, Mom, if you going to do that, let me see how that turned out for you." And then, because I know I'm going to be there to support her, but my brother, he's like, "I want it done now, Mom. Get yourself together. We're going to the doctors now." My mother told him one day, "When I go out of this house, my feet will be pointing up." I said, I said, "Yo, man, you might want to back off."
That's right. That's
so,
true.
We definitely, there's boundaries that
Yeah.
we overstep a lot of the
Yes.
time. So, how about your grandkids? I know y'all have adult grandkids. Are they
Yeah.
following that same pattern, Miss
No.
Connie?
Yes, I have a grandson. Another say 7 days, he'll be 25. He think he's my father. He called me. He said, "Granny, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He said, "You ought to get up and do something." So when he called and I say I'm doing something, why don't you be taking it quiet, old lady? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what do you want me to actually do? He said, "Oh, Granny, I'll be by there after a while." I said, "Don't come to my house today, please."
Hmm.
He comes to my house and he don't use his key. He makes me get up for whatever I'm doing to come to answer the door for him. He come in and he stay how long? 5 minutes and he leaves. So okay, Granny, I'll see you later.
Hmm.
He just want to put your what they say, lay eyes on you.
That's right. He
Just
want to
lay-
check.
It has to be that because that's all he have time to do. Go to the refrigerator, see what he can collect.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Say, "Grandma, you got $20?"
Yeah.
And boom, they
Uh-huh.
done. That's it.
Well, Jeremy bring a bag. He bring his own bag, and he go in my
collect the
pantries
stuff?
and collect.
Wow.
And he'll say, "Mama, I forgot the coupons. I'll bring them the next time."
So your house is like the pantry, huh?
That's what my
Miss-
house is, the pantry.
Oh,
My house is
wow.
the pantry.
How about your grandkids? Are they
No,
at that
my-
level yet that they're all in your business?
No, actually, my grandkids are like, my youngest one is 10 years old, but the rest of them, the other grandkids are out on their own, some of them with families, but they don't bother me. You know, they're just very loving. They'll come in and kiss me, but they don't get into my business.
Just them kids.
Just those kids.
Yes.
Just the
Well,
kids.
my granddaughter, she's 6. She just turned 6 November. You would think she's 60 the way she come at me. Like the other day when we had the meeting downstairs in the building, I didn't want to miss, so I couldn't take her to her ballet practice. So she called me 10 minutes after 5 on her little phone. She said, "Granny, did you forget I'm supposed to go to practice?" I said, "What's up with that?"
Oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
"What?" I said, "I told your moms that I won't be able to take you today. We'll go tomorrow." You know what I'm saying? But she said, "Wait, Granny, you know we can't go to practice." And then her main thing is going to 7-Eleven,
Oh.
getting those Dorito chips, put the cheese and chili in the bag, and she loves that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
So
that-
you got 3 generations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how it goes. You know, when you talk about grandkids, and I just could smile because now I got 5.
Oh my
And they
goodness.
like young, and every time I turn around, there's something new I'm learning. Cause my 7-year-old granddaughter Alexandria, she'll tell me, "You're doing too much.
Mhm.
You need to sit down." I'm like, I am not old by
Yeah.
far. And she said, "Go sit down." And I think that's her way of saying, "Get out my face and move out my way."
Yeah.
But one day, my daughter called me, Tanika, and said, "You need to talk to your granddaughter about." Cause she goes to this after school program. So her and this young lady who are good friends, the 2 little girls, good friends, they fight all the time. So then I said on the phone, I said, "Well, Alex, why you and a young lady keep fighting?"
Mhm.
She said, "Well, you know, Mama, she got issues and I got issues, and
Oh.
sometimes our issues don't align."
And how old is this child?
7. So what I just said, because I felt like I was in awe, I said, "Oh, okay, apparently you got this under control.
Mhm.
Can I talk back to your mother?" I mean, so these kids nowadays,
Mhm.
you know, just kind of like baffle me. But back to the piece about how we tend to get into your business.
Mhm.
It's just that I think a lot of times we know how we get this pictorial that you're vulnerable,
Mhm.
and we just want to make sure y'all are right.
Mhm.
But we're overbearing. With
That's
it,
right.
You know?
That is so
Yes.
true.
But then, you know,
Yes.
but the apple don't fall too far from the tree because you know my aggressiveness come from my father and my mother.
Yeah.
So now they mad because I'm now using it on them. But that's what you gave me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead, Miss Grace. What's one of some other pieces that you wanted to talk about? on
Okay,
this
I
topic?
want to. Okay, now suppose you're in a relationship with man or woman. You know, a girlfriend, a man friend, a intimate friend, and your children come to you and say, "Mama, I don't think that person is good for you. I think you should, like diss them. You should get rid of them." Okay, what do you say to that?
Did you say diss? I'm mad at you. Did you say diss?
Well, you know.
Yeah, I see. I'm watching. One of my granddaughters, I'm checking for you.
That's right. What do you, Miss Connie? What do you say to your kids when they get into your romance and all that stuff. What do you say to
Oh, the
them?
first thing would be, oh, what do you know that I don't know?
Uh-huh.
So if you know something that I don't know,
Uh-huh.
then tell it to me. But if you say, well, I ain't gonna say, I'm not gonna this, I'm not gonna that.
Mm.
Okay, but why are you talking? Because you ain't doing nothing to benefit me.
Yeah, that's a
So,
good one.
I mean, what else can you say?
Mm.
If I ask you and you don't answer me, you will still have your opinion because you ain't try to straighten anything out.
That's good. That's good. What
Yeah,
about you, Katrina?
That's a good response.
Uh-huh.
You know, if my parents were in a romantic, oh, how about this? My grandmother. This is so kind of crazy. And she probably, I bet not ever allow her to hear this.
Okay.
But my grandfather has a brother, and I don't believe nothing's going on, but that's her companion.
Uh-huh.
You know, and I mean, like, in my head, this don't look cute. 'Cause
That's your grandmother?
That's my grandmother.
Okay.
And my grandfather, who's deceased, he has a brother, one remaining, and he comes over, take my grandmother to, the stores. And when I left there last week, I had brought some fish. She said, "Oh, leave that fish there. Don't put it in the freezer because I'm gonna cook Gerald some." I said, "Uncle Gerald, he coming over here to eat too?" Now I got.
Now you melon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So
Exactly, you got it.
So then I said, you know what? Everybody deserves companionship. I said, I just got to pray over this
Mm-hmm.
and keep it moving. But I think that I'm a little bit different because I understand by working in the environment and with older people, there's some things that kids can't give, that conversation, because
That's right.
That's
That's
a different
right.
type of rapport, different kind of relationship. So I try to stick out there, but yeah, Grandma entertained Uncle Gerald at the house. I'm sick.
But listen, you just said that you don't think nothing is going on.
Nah,
You mean sexual?
Yeah, sexual. I don't think nothing like that's going on, but that might be for her something that she desires more is the companionship because I'm probably sure she's tired of my mother riding her everywhere and yelling at her always.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom is crazy. Sit down, put your seatbelt on. What you looking at that for? Why are you getting on the bus? I'm like, if she can get on the bus, let her get on
That's
the bus.
right.
So I'm actually understanding what y'all talking about because my mom is she meddling all in stuff. But anyway, I don't think nothing going on. I just think that's just the type of relationship
But
they
Katrina,
But
suppose you found out that there was something going on. What would be your reaction?
Ooh, let me tell you, because I had this situation. My niece unfortunately passed away, and she had this gentleman that she, actually they were of Islamic faith, and they were married. So they had one child. And anyway, when she passed on, the guy is older. He like my age. Matter of fact, he's 2 years older than me. My niece was like 15 years younger than me. So I didn't understand that hookup anyway. But he always liked me. You could tell because he would be like, "Oh, is she coming to get the kids?" But I ain't playing into that. But once she was deceased, he tried his hand. So then my grandmother said, "That don't look right because that ain't in the family way." So that's what I'm going to say to her. That don't look right. That ain't in the family way. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm waiting, because I just lay and wait. Because when it come out, I'm going to say, that don't look right. Ain't in the family way. How about
Okay.
you, Miss Grace?
Well,
I'm quite sure you got you have a plethora of examples.
oh yes. But you know what I do? Right now, my kids, if they call me and I don't answer the phone, and sometimes if they get really upset, they'll come to the apartment. But when they call me and I finally call them back because I'm not into that voicemail stuff and all that stuff. I call you when I call you. So when I call them back, this is my daughter and my son. Yeah, she got somebody up there. I know she's trying to hide it, but one of these days I'm going to catch her. You know what I tell them? Signifying is worse than stealing. So y'all need to just step aside. If I got somebody up there, you'll never know it. But they've never really come to me about my relationships and all that, but they talk about me.
Oh yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. That's what you had us for. Yeah, we say the things we can't say in your face.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tell them if one find out I've done something, anything, like I said before, one will tell the other one. And I say, you know what? Y'all can't keep water. I don't care what I do, what I say. One is going to tell the other one, and it's going to eventually get back to me. So when I get on them, they say, well, you know, cray cray. They call me cray cray.
That's short for crazy, crazy lady.
They said, well, you know, cray cray did this, cray cray did that. And I just ignore them. You know, that's what I do. I don't get into their business, and they are not going to get into mine.
Well, you a slick one, so I
I
don't
sure
know.
am.
Well, for my instance, like this, my grandson called me. He said, "Granny, what you doing?" I said, "Right now, I got company." He said, "What?" I said, "Okay." I let that go by. Then he go call his mother.
Uh-huh.
She called me, "Ma, who over your house?" I said, "Nobody over here." "What you mean?"
Mhm.
Markel said, "Sister." I said, "Okay, well, y'all do what y'all want to do." They said, "Well, guess what? We'll be over there in a little bit."
Oh, my
I got
goodness.
so tickled. I was sitting in the living room when they walked in the door. My daughter, my grandson, his wife, my daughter, Kamaya, the 6-year-old, they come looking in closets and stuff, and I was so tickled. They actually came to my house. I said, "This is the way to get y'all to my house?" Well, I need to tell y'all, I got somebody here all the time. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right. You didn't
And
check
they
under the
actually
bed.
came when
That's
they
right.
walked in the door. I just fell out. They told me she ain't got nobody here. Right. But that
Yeah.
lets you know,
But that's true, you know, and I think, you know, kids and like they don't want to think about their parents dating.
That's
and all
true.
That kind of
That's
stuff.
true.
They sure
And to
don't.
Mm.
But you know, we can bring many suitors
Mhm.
to you.
Yeah.
You know, and say, oh, this is such and such,
Uh-huh.
and then you be like, yeah, this week, next week, but don't let you do it.
That's
I
right.
don't know. I think if my mother, because my father's deceased, my mother, you know, found a friend or something like that, I'd probably be ecstatic because she can be stopped calling me 10 times a
That's
day.
right. That's right.
You know, I was
Uh-huh.
just, I think I shared with y'all. They, you know, they track my phone.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
she
I'm
told
like,
us that.
really? That's terrible.
It is.
Yeah. So then last night I went out, but I only was out a short while, and I was in the house actually asleep. So my mother texted me and said, I would like to know where my daughter is at 11:30. So this morning when I saw the text, I said, well, your daughter was in the bed asleep.
Uh-huh.
I got in my own curfew. I
Uh-huh.
don't need you to tell me.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, what's good for the goose, good for the gander.
That's
I
right.
guess that's how I
Yeah.
look at it. So I wouldn't even be in her business unless he laying up in the house and he watching her cable, eating her food, and bring nothing. My grandma said you at least bring some hot dog rolls to cook out. I mean, that's how I would look at
Yeah.
it. But yeah, that's a touchy subject.
That's right. Okay, guys. Now, your kids have busted you out about your male friend. You've told them off. Okay. Your kids was right. Your friend ain't worth nothing. I say nothing because I don't want to say a bad word. So,
Not worth
What
a
do
damn
you-
dime.
what do you do then? Okay, my kid is right. This fella, you know, he's whatever, but he's not what he's supposed to be, or not what he portrayed to be. What do you do then?
First of all, you got to think about it.
Mm.
But the main thing is, you know, you're not getting ready to apologize to them. You're
Really?
not going to do that.
Really?
Seriously, you're not going to do that. You might want to,
Mhm.
but you're not going to do that. Then maybe somewhere down the line, say, you know what, y'all was right, I apologize. But you're not going to do it right away, point blank. You're just not going to do it.
Now, if I was you and I was your age, I
Mm.
would never do it. I just say he died. He done, or not say it so explicit. I would say he done gone away from here. I just leave it open ended.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's if I ever had recognized something in somebody, it was my grandmother or my mother, and I even do that with a female friend.
Mhm.
I'm kind of open to your own destiny.
Mhm.
And if I say something, I might say I told you so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I'm gonna keep it moving. But if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't admit nothing. I would just be like, oh.
Well, I don't admit nothing either. I'll after a while, a long while,
Exactly.
and if his name come up, I might tell them. I'm never gonna tell him he was right. I might say something. Yeah, well, I found out this and that and that and that, but I'm not gonna apologize, and I'm not gonna admit that they were right. That's my right.
But that's part of. I
That's
mean,
pretty much what you're going to do. You're not going to admit that they were right and you were wrong.
Oh
You're
yeah,
not
because
gonna
we
do
would.
that.
Me being young and what could potentially could be one of your children.
Yeah, you
I
do.
would run around. I would like say every time you said something, let me check it out because you know what you did last time. I would always throw that right smug in your
You would
face.
say that?
Oh heck yeah, because because it's hard. I guess to get my parent to admit. Now my mother, now that she's older, she'd be like, "All
Mhm.
right, you were right."
Uh-huh.
But my father, it was crazy. Him and I had difficulties with stuff like that because he would never apologize,
Mhm.
and he would never say I was right about anything. And it actually led me to therapy, and so the therapist said you got three choices. You got one, keep hounding him for a response that you're never going to get.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You can two, stop speaking to him and just ostracize yourself,
Mhm.
or not deal with him. Or three, you can just forgive him and keep moving.
Mhm.
So I chose the latter. I forgave him and just kept going and never looked for that apology. But
Mhm.
if he would apologize once, boy, that'd have been the keys to the kingdom.
Yeah.
And I would have threw it in his face every time. Remember that, Dad?
Mhm.
You didn't. So let me check that out for
Mhm.
you, because that would have been a segue into something else, and
Yeah.
probably would have made me feel, I guess, vindicated over
Mhm.
other issues that or other outstanding pieces. So
Mhm.
I would use it to my benefit, of course.
Mhm.
Of course.
Of course I would.
But did your parents, your mother or your father, did they ever tell you that maybe the man that you was gonna marry, whatever, did they ever tell you not to?
Well, I'm like Elizabeth Taylor. I done got many husbands. And they ain't like none of them.
Uh-huh.
They ain't like none of them.
Yeah.
When I say none, I mean zero.
Mhm.
So, but the good thing is that for me, it left a benchmark in my head, like with my father. My father was a very stern man. He was a man's man, and I think that the women today, in the generations
Mhm.
below me, and in my generation as well, they don't know what a man's man look like.
Yeah.
So, being though that I have that idea,
Mhm.
now I have that, like I said, benchmark where I can, if I date somebody, even though
Mhm.
he's deceased, I'd be like, "Ooh, my father would not approve of him. Let him
Mhm.
go,"
Mhm.
because now I'm looking at that standard,
Mhm.
where I wouldn't before. Somebody told me I had too many prerequisites. Now I don't have many.
Mhm.
I need you not to want to live off my money.
That's right.
I need you not to be mentally
Unstable.
unstable.
Don't be crazy.
And and please be healthy.
Mhm.
Because one, I don't feel like dragging you to the dialysis every 2 days. I don't want to do that. So, I thought that was it. Have a source of income for yourself.
Mhm.
Now, I thought that was real simple.
What about you, Miss Connie?
Um,
Did your parents or did your parents approve of your choice, your as a mate for a mate?
Pretty much.
They did. Uh-huh.
I mean, because um,
It's only 10 people in the
for the
town.
one, for the what?
There's only 10 people in your town when you come from.
So she had married somebody.
They all knew who everybody was.
But I didn't. In my relationships, they was kind of slow for me. I didn't go at nothing fast, so
Mhm.
Okay.
it was like a slow thing.
Mhm.
So when I did do something, it wasn't the greatest choice in the world, but I made that decision all by myself when I was like 27,
Mhm.
28.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they accepted what I did at the time that I did it, but then I realized that was a bad move on my part.
Mhm.
They didn't say anything against it or anything. And there was only one guy I had in my life that he was great. And he got sick, and I had to take care of him until he passed.
Oh, my
but I didn't
goodness.
mind taking care of him because he was a good man before the fact.
Okay.
And that's pretty much how it is. But with my parents, I didn't have a real problem with that.
But how about now you opened up something else. So how did your kids, did they like the guy that you were talking about that you were taking care of, and did they like the fact you were taking care of him?
My daughter didn't. But when she needed something, she came to him. She always got it.
Mhm.
So she had issues of her own, but I told her she can go ahead on with her issues because he takes good care of me.
Mhm.
And every time you come for something, you gets it.
Mhm.
But you still got other issues. I don't know what your problem is, but I'm gonna let you work that out.
Mhm. That's good.
Man, this Connie on fire.
I don't want to.
I'll
I'm
make
glad.
sure
I'm glad
when
you
I
wasn't
come-
my mama.
I come correct when I see Miss Connie now. I might have to call you, start calling you Miss Jones.
But I got married when I was 18 years old. I had a baby, and back in those days, being pregnant and unmarried, you were sort of the bad girl. So when the baby was 4 months old, we decided to get married. Now, my mother didn't want me to get married. My mother wanted me to go to school. And, she said, I'm on your side. You take care of the baby, but I want you to go to school. No, I had to get married. And the signs was there because my husband never kept a job. Then just before we got married, he got a job. But then when we went to get our marriage license, dude didn't have $5 to pay for the license.
And you still saying I do?
I
Red
paid.
flag. Time out. Technical.
I took
Too
my
many
little
flags on the
$5. I
field.
took my little $5 out and paid for the license.
Oh my goodness.
So we got married. That first things, things was okay. Then
Y'all went home together?
yeah, child. Look, went to his father's house and slept on a bumpy couch.
Wait a minute.
We didn't even have a place to
Wait a
stay.
minute.
So anyway, things got worse. I had a baby. Things got worse. I had another baby. And eventually, I ended back up with my mother anyway.
Your mama never even cleaned your room out because she knew you was going to get home.
She got off on the wrong feet, didn't she?
And I sure
you
did. Both of them.
First of all, you had to pay for it.
I paid for the license.
Then you go and sleep on a bumpy couch.
That's right.
Get up
Daddy
the next
house.
day
Uh-huh.
at his daddy's house.
Mhm.
You didn't know what the next day was going to bring.
I sure didn't. But I tell you one thing, the funniest thing, it's
Love
not
is
funny
blind.
now.
They
It's
say
funny
love is
now.
blind, right?
But it wasn't funny then. My husband had won a station wagon in a dice.
Oh, and he gambled too.
He gambled too. He had won.
What the Bible said, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. We might have to revisit that scripture.
He had won a station wagon in a crap shoot.
Okay.
But he didn't have no license, so his father took the station wagon. So we got married and everything. So about 7:00, here come his father in the station wagon. Louis, get your wife and baby, so we can go, cause you got to get up and go to work in the morning. So here me and my husband and my baby, listening to my husband's father. We get in the station wagon like children, and we go home.
Wow. So, I got a question for you. Did your choices get any better as time went on? And how did your kids, that may be why your kids might be a little bit overprotective of who you got in your house at night.
Actually, they didn't.
None
My
of your
choices.
choices? None of your choices?
Maybe one.
Okay, maybe.
Mhm.
And that's an if, because you ain't saying that with certainty. Look,
He was a stalker.
he was a stalker?
Mhm.
A stalker?
Stalker, right.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah.
So your kids
The husband, the one that you paid the $5 for?
No, she
Oh,
talking about
you
a
to
boyfriend.
another one husband now.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not a husband,
Oh, that's a
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
So
He was a stalker.
Mhm.
You already was vulnerable. A stalker you did not need in your life.
I know.
Did you say vulnerable? Yeah.
Okay, guys, we enough. We've gotten off the subject. We're supposed to be talking about children, grown children, meddling in our business.
But see, now we got to a point with you. Now, don't get that social emotional sensitivity going on. Because we talking about you. We talking about how your kids feel about your choices you made, far as mates or boyfriends, what you call them, one night stand. Who knows? I mean, you just.
Well, with the stalker, it was really bad. It was really bad.
Your kids had to come to your rescue?
No, my kids was actually small. I mean, they wasn't small,
Oh,
but they,
okay.
they knew the fella, and the fella, he was very kind. He was very kind to us, but he was a nut. When he got in his nutness, it was something else. And he would do things like if I made him mad, he would take the kids to the store, and each one of them come back with a big old bag of cookies or something because he knew that's something I didn't want. He would always do something that I didn't want, for the kids.
He do the opposite of
He
what
do
you
the
do
opposite.
like.
Now, he
Yeah.
never did hit me or anything like that, but we argued like cats and dogs.
So, a question. When you said your choices really didn't get better. So in your children's adult life, when you've been dating,
Mhm.
what have they been saying about those choices at that time?
Well, they never talk about it. That's something we never talk about.
So they don't say, "Mom, no red flag. What you doing?" Or
No,
none of that kind of stuff.
no. Mm-mm. That's one of the things we never talk about. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And apparently they didn't. The parents didn't talk about it either because you paid that $5. But okay, go on to your next question, Miss Host.
Well, actually, that's about all I had to say. Do you all have anything else you want to add?
Oh wow, I didn't come prepared like that. 'Cause I
Mm.
thought you had like many questions that you wanted to talk
Mm-mm.
about. But
Well,
I
you
think
could.
let me tell you from a kid's perspective or your
Mm.
children's perspective.
Mm.
Like I said, a lot of times it's just being protective
Mm.
over stuff, and not only that, sometimes yeah, we don't know everything.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand, you taught us enough things that sometimes when you're not thinking, that's just that energy that you transferred to us,
Yeah.
and we're just acting out of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I think my mom and my dad used to get
Mhm.
like, oh, I mean, bent out of shape with me because I took on my dad's sternness,
Mhm.
but yet I got my mom's sense of humor.
Yeah.
And so I infused that, and
Mhm.
even though I'm laughing, but I'm very serious.
Mhm.
My mom don't know how to take it because it's something that she sees that came out of their personality. So anyway, so don't hate us.
But you know what? All the trouble, let's say trouble, all the things that
You all
I
right? Wait a minute, hold
Is
on, Miss
this
Con.
my tea in the back beside me?
cool it,
Just
cool
cool
it,
it.
cool it. We don't want people to know that. But all the things that I've done, it's nothing that I've been that I'm ashamed of. But I have put myself in situations where I am grateful to be alive and well today, and I'm grateful that uh, even some of the company I was with, I'm glad that I didn't go their way, like drugs and all that stuff and stealing and all that stuff. But I thank God for my children because even though I was in and out relationships and all that stuff, they didn't. My son Jeremy, he just celebrated his 30th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
Greg, now Tracy, she got divorced. Uh,
And
but
got a dog.
huh?
And got a dog.
You got two
Got
dogs.
two dogs. Got divorced and got two dogs.
And my son Gregory, he's been married about 20 years. Okay, Jeremy has 4 kids. Greg has 4 kids. They are good husbands. They're good family men, and they are good to their children. They raise good children. The children has never been in any trouble. They've gone to college, and they are very independent. But I guess it was God's purpose because had they followed
You
in
can fan. I don't want you to pass out here. Had no hot flash.
because if they had followed it in my footsteps, then in this day and time, I don't think they would have made it. I
Well,
really don't.
Well, one of the things you got to remember that another reason why potentially we could be overbearing is because we watch y'all go through so many things.
Yeah, yeah.
And so some of that might be protection or trying to prevent other things. So it's not always just trying to drill down on you and be hard, but we've seen the struggle. We and we can empathize and in some situations sympathize with whatever you're going on.
Yeah.
So count it all joy. That what you need to. Miss Connie, so what you gotta say to wrap this up? But you still want them to butt out though. I got that point, right, Miss Connie? I mean, Miss.
Yeah.
I do. I want you to butt out. I mean, some things you don't need to know. You know.
To cap all of this off, let's see what we doing now.
See, that's what happened when you had hot flashes. You don't even know. You know who's the president? Well, I gotta treat you like you done had a stroke. Do you know how many fingers I got? What else ask you? What's the day of the week?
I know
day
it.
of the week?
What day of the week is it? That's
so just
it.
kind of going over when you talk about kids and butting out and just understand that sometimes it is over people being overbearing and very aggressive and and not respecting your privacy, but also understanding that we've seen what's going on and what you've actually, a lot of you guys have championed, and
Yeah.
and we don't want anything bad to happen to you, because we hold our parents and high esteem.
We sure do.
And most of the time we revere them. So
Yeah.
so the thing is that we want to make things better for you. So we think we know when we really don't in turn. And you gotta remember, we only, just like our kids, you're a new mother. You become like when your parents start getting older, that's a new relationship.
right.
So that's new for us too.
That's true.
So when my mom, started exhibiting things that, seniors do, like, but I think she got selective memory loss, because she
Yeah.
got, I don't know where my keys at, or something like that. Yeah, because you don't want to take me nowhere.
Yeah.
That's why you can't find your keys.
Yeah.
But so.
But you remember everything else.
But you remember. So my thing is that when in all truthfulness, when you start seeing that your parents are declining in some kind of capacity, it makes you hold on strong.
It
and
does.
You try to make things better for them.
That's true.
And then y'all not cooperative. 'Cause
I
y'all got your
know.
own-
We got our own agenda.
Y'all
We
plan,
got a
we
mind of our
plan.
own. That's
You
right.
And that's what we do. We do have to butt out to a certain degree until till you tap out and say, I need your help. So that's what's up. We were just summing that up, Miss Connie. That's all. While you having your
with my
your
kid,
fifth
yeah.
Coughing
your
attack.
fifth- She had a coughing attack.
Oh,
She having
Lord.
5
Yes,
hot flashes.
And she having a fit over here.
Just call that. That's a fit. That's it, exactly.
Look at her fanning.
Don't take that shirt off. We streaming
It's not that
live.
bad. Not that bad. Not that bad. But yes, with the kids' situation and your situations, I have the kind of kids. My son is 47. My daughter's 43. If they come to my house and I'm laying in my bed, they'll get on my bed and lay down and tell me to move
That's
over.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
And this is what they have always done. This is not just now.
Okay.
All my grandchildren is the same way. Each grandchild has his own personality, and everybody say, you better not do nothing to that woman right there.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they have a protective thing, and sometimes it's a little more protective than it need to be, because if I do something for one grand and the other grand go back and tell it, so, oh, you did that for her, and when I asked you, da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
So I tell them, I said, let me tell you something. When you come to me, you come to me. So if I hear it somewhere else, I'll deny everything you're saying. You know why I deny it? That keep peace with the other grands that they wanted to come, but you already done hit me. So you
Right.
can't hit me too. So I don't want to tell you that. So I just tell the other one, if you say I did something, I say, no, I didn't, because I ain't have nothing to do with it. I don't know what he came up with that for. I said, guess was trying to make y'all mad. You know what I'm saying? So
She said all that with a straight face.
so I guess, I have to do this because this is how my grandchildren are,
Right.
and my children.
Yeah.
And then when they do this, then you say, okay, next week, a week after next, you don't call me none time leading up to payday. I don't call you either. So when you do call me, Granny, I ain't forgot about you. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, the time that you talked about, isn't it gone by already?
Yeah.
I said, so far as I'm concerned, you already forgot about me.
Ooh.
But I'm going to see if you're going to keep on forgetting about me. Then when I start forgetting you, then you'll see just how it feels.
That's a tough granny and mommy and granny, ain't she?
I thought I'm taking notes. I need to get just like that right now. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Mm.
So I see why your children could be a little protective. I just a little bit. I understand.
And the one thing I didn't tell you was about my granddaughter. Her birthday was November. So her mom worked all the time, right? And I was in South Carolina at the time. And she was telling her, she said, Kamaya, I might not be able to get off for the weekend because of your birthday, for your party and your birthday and all. And she looked at it, she said, Mommy, you're not going to be here for my birthday? My grandma not going to be? She said, she's confused, right? She said, but Amy don't act like she want to let me off so I could be here so you can have a birthday party like the weekend. Because the birthday was like that Monday or Tuesday, but it was going to have the party like the weekend. So she had her hands on her hip and she walked in the living room. She said, Amy need to go somewhere and sit down.
That was the granddaughter said.
6 years, wasn't 6, she was getting ready to be 6.
Oh my goodness.
You are in trouble. That's all I have to say.
Oh, she will speak her mind, but
I wonder why.
Right.
But but my thing is, she speaks her mind in a way for a 6-year-old, not sounding
Not-
like she's growner than she need to be.
Mhm.
Right.
Because anytime it come to that, she automatically get chopped down like right then.
Mhm.
Right, right, right,
Like when she was in class the other night, she looking at me instead of looking at Miss B.
Mhm.
That was her name.
right.
So when she turned and looked at me, I said, "Look at me again, and you won't like what I'm gonna do when you get out of here." She ain't looked my way again
Mm.
because she's supposed to pay attention.
Yep.
I told her you only learn what you need to know by paying attention. If you watching me and I ain't teaching you nothing, you're learning nothing.
Oh my goodness,
right.
that's
So-
true.
Yeah.
You heavy, honey. You heavy. Do we still use heavy?
No. Matter of fact, let's censor that out. Heavy is no longer in the dictionary, I don't think.
Okay, all right.
At least not
Look,
street dictionary.
my bad.
Okay. Well, you know, that's kind of ancient, but people still do use that at times. But you know what?
Okay.
Apparently, ladies, you are the matriarch of your families. And all thing I would say is keep doing what you're doing. It's been lovely talking to y'all, you guys. And our next topic, we'll think about it a little bit, Miss Grace. And we'll just close out now. Thank you guys for watching and listening to us on Seniors Uncensored, and we look forward to coming back next month and having another segment. And until then, good night.
Good
From
night.
Bye.
From
Good night.
aging on the go, we're always on the go.
That's true. That's true.